It's another great Wednesday here as we do our Nashville Weekly Live with the Burnett Group. And if you've followed us at all every week, we cover amazing topics of everything you need to know about home buying, home selling, real estate in general. But today I wanted to dive in on the actual real estate professional. There is a lot of misconceptions out there that I even hear about what a real estate professional does and what is their role. And it's important to understand why these professionals play such a huge role in any transaction that you're doing. So Matt and Marty, we're going to dive into that topic today. Great to see you both.
Hey, yeah, great to be here. Great topic.
Isn't it? I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing that, or just like, what is it you do, right? You just do how it is.
We really do, you know. Well, I think talking about this topic too, lets people know how important it is when choosing an agent. You know, a lot of people think that, you find a house online, we go look at it, I say, yes, you write a contract and boom, it's done. But what does it matter who writes that contract? And there's so much more to it. So I think it is important for people to understand why they need to put some effort and stock into not just who represents them on the sale of their home, but who represents them on the buy as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What are some of the misconceptions that you hear? What are some of the myths? Or go as crazy and ridiculous as you want to when you hear that people assume about a real estate agent.
Go show one house, sell it. Flexibility. So flexible.
I don't want to work that much, so I'll just get a realtor.
All you do is write the offer. How hard is that?
I'm flexible around everybody else's schedule.
Right. People say, well, all you do is write an offer. How hard is that? Right.
Well, yeah. That's another one. A lot of people think that real estate professionals go by the closing office, once a week and pick up a $10,000, $15,000 check and stick it in their pocket and wait till the next week to go get another one. And I always giggle about that. One, the checks aren't always that large. And two, there's lots of hands that go in that pot.
Yes.
Big one being Uncle Sam before you ever get any of that home to your family. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to do just a handful of transactions a year for an extra vacation, or this or that. And some people may make that work.
Turns into a lot more transactions for that vacation.
Well, yeah. You got to do a whole lot of transactions for that vacation because you have to look at all the costs that go into it. And a big one it just is what it is. It's taxes. So anyway, yeah. There are lots of funny things and quite honestly, we work in the real estate field, and not all agents are created equal.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's true. That's true. Well, from the consumer perspective, you've got consumers that think, well, I'll just sell the house myself because really, what does a real estate agent do? Why would I pay them commission when I can just do this myself in today's market? I just think it's so important that folks understand what it is you really do day to day and what role you play in the transaction on both the buying and selling side.
Well, there's a lot of things, but one thing it's hard to wrap your head around is just there's a lot of value in experience and resources and been there, done that. And because there's always something in every transaction, right?
Oh yeah.
And knowing the people to take care of this, or to come look at that, or knowing what happens when this happens, and that's with everything, not counting the negotiations and tell me what
you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Are you going to defend yourself in a trial, or are you going to hire an attorney? And a lot of people think, oh, you compared yourself to an attorney. Well, I wish I could charge by the hour because it would be a whole lot more than what this massive amount that everybody assumes that real estate professionals make by doing transactions. But here's the reality of it: is a very legal world that we live in now, and a lot of what we do for our clients is protecting them legally, not as an attorney, but with the appropriate disclosures, with the appropriate advice of how to disclosure and things that you have to tell people. There are lots of different ways that you can get sued, and in real estate there are tons of ways that you can get sued. And, the bulk of times that I hear about things getting legal in a real estate transaction, there's no agent involved.
Wow.
And it's just, you don't know what you don't know. We agree on price, we shake our hands, we go to the closing table. Well, guess what? they move in and there was all these little things that you didn't disclose to that person because you didn't know you had to, and
Right.
then legally you were supposed to. I mean, it just can be a mess. And so all of a sudden you thought you saved that X percent or X dollars, and it costs you a whole heck of a lot more than
Right.
that.
It's a
And
powerful statement. Yeah. Pointing that
it's
out is a big deal.
It's a huge thing for people. And I'm not an attorney. I'm not a lender. I'm not any of those things, you know, but what I am is an experienced real estate professional. And I know the things to look for and the ways to keep the transaction on track and keep everybody on the up and up and out of the legal spotlight. I mean, it's just, that's not somewhere you want to be in any transaction or in any facet of life, but definitely not when you're doing a buying and selling of a house, which is your largest asset, because you're dealing in big dollar numbers.
Right.
So I always express that to people. You know, a lot of the for sale by owner, especially in the markets like we're having now, where you know, everything, the prices are up, and people are like, oh, this is so easy. You stick a sign in the yard. I mean, it's easy till it's not. Sometimes finding the buyer is the easiest part of the whole transaction. Actually getting it to the closing table successfully is the hard part. And you know, we talk about it all the time. There's hiccups in every single transaction we do.
Oh,
Moving is
completely.
stressful. Yeah.
And another thing, people might say, well, I can make money, I can save so much more money or make more money, whichever way you look at it, by doing it themselves. How do they know? They don't know. We have clients come to us and say, I think my house is worth whatever. And we do the research and look it up and market it properly. It's worth 20% more than what they even thought it would be. So they lost, you know, left 20% on the table right there.
You didn't save X percent, you lost.
Yes.
Any way you look at it, properly marketed. And a lot of people, oh, I've already got a buyer on my house. You come in and do this transaction. I'm thinking, why do you want to already have a buyer? What about the billions of other people out there that might be buyers for your house as well? That whole supply and demand, the whole like competition thing, you know, you may be leaving tons of money on the table and thinking that you saved. And that's a great point that Matt made. A lot of times, and again, you just don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And appropriate marketing and terms are huge. Terms can cost you money. Like there's more than just the sales price. There's all kinds of different charges and fees and things that are involved in the transfer of real estate. And you got to figure out who's paying for what and all. There's just a lot to it. And sometimes I think we do make it too easy. Moving is stressful. There's always hiccups. Our job is to make it as minimally stressful for people as possible.
That's when you know you're with the right professional, when they made it look easy.
Sometimes I think we make this look too easy for people. And there is a whole lot that goes on behind the scenes in real estate. And that's one of the reasons that, you know, we had a teammate on, a new teammate that just joined our team.
You're adding to the team. Let's talk about
I mean, it takes a village. Yeah. With all these different moving parts, it takes a village. It takes a lot of people to do what we do, to get it from contract to close, or to get your house ready, even just getting your house ready to sell, and then the marketing, and then finding the buyer, then negotiating the deal. Then and people think the negotiation of the deal and it's done. No, then we have all these inspections. Right. That's a renegotiation of the deal. You know, and what's legitimate and what's not. And
what each client doesn't realize is they're not your only client. So all of those things they're describing and that the team needs to help with, there's more. You have more than one client at a time, especially if you're running a successful business. And that's a huge jigsaw puzzle that as a team you're navigating.
Absolutely. And just having different people involved in a transaction brings different perspectives to the table. Home inspections, for example, or getting homes ready to sell, or when you're buying a home, having things that you're going to want to do to that home afterwards, or, you know, trying to decipher what is a real deal breaker for a home inspection, what is not. Like having Matt on our team as a general contractor of 20 years and small developer and things like that, the plethora of knowledge that he brings to the table for our clients is huge. Now, you may not see Matt throughout the entire transaction, but if something comes up that's within his wheelhouse, you know, we're definitely pulling him in.
You're sure lucky you have him right when you need him.
He's somebody that might think of, you know, a fix on a house is going to be, you know, $1,000, and it turns out it's $5,000. That's a big difference. You need to know that. going in, and that's where we pull Matt in and some of his professionals as well. So I think with every person you bring to the table, it's another resource for that client. Some of these people, the clients never even know are involved.
Right. Right. Of course. And because that's your job to bring in those resources so that, again, it's an easy transaction for them. They think it was, oh, this was great. We got the house. It was easy because you guys behind the scenes are waving magic wands, bringing in top professionals, making things happen, maneuvering all at the same time, again, for multiple clients simultaneous. And, I know that another thing that people say is, well, you're so lucky. You have a flex schedule. You can do whatever you want. But doesn't that mean that you're pretty much on call 7 days a week?
That's exactly what that means.
Yeah. Super flexible.
Yeah. Your phone can ring at any hour, all the time, every day, because people want to work on this on the weekends when they're not working. And then during the week, you're dealing with the professionals and all the resources you need to that are open from 9 to 5. So you're working all week and you're still juggling everything all weekend, correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons that when people, I think the last time I checked, on average, a real estate professional kept a license for about 5 years.
Because they burn out.
And you burn out, or you realize that you're working more and not once you start averaging out after everybody's had their hand in the pot and you've paid everybody, what's left for you to take home to your family isn't near enough or as much that you thought for the time that you put into it. And I make the joke all the time about attorneys charging by the hour. If we charged by the hour, nobody would be able to afford to use a real estate professional.
Right.
The hours that go into it. And I think that's where, and don't get me wrong, there are bad realtors, just like there's,
of course, in
bad
any
attorneys and bad doctors and whatever,
right.
in every single field, so not all agents are created equal.
Right. And it's not like you can just turn in for your vacation hours and say, okay, we're gone for these next 3 weeks. Those transactions are still in order. You may have somebody right there just listing their house. One just closed. You're in the middle of one. You have to stage another. That work goes with you even on vacation. I have interviewed you guys on vacation where you're still working and still integrating it. So it really is the job that never sleeps.
Oh, yeah. Matt and I think in our 18 years of real estate, have taken one off the grid type vacation, which was 7 days. And we prepped, no phone, no internet. And we prepped for that vacation for probably 6 months prior to it happening. And thanks to our team, everything was running and going and doing. And so even when we're traveling or doing things, we'd never get to go anywhere if we didn't take the work with us, because we like to go and do and whatever, but we're always involved, and we are surrounded by really good team members. And thank goodness for technology, because it's allowed us to be able to work remotely and in different places. And we have boots on the ground here that, can open doors and physically
meet inspectors.
Again, and but we are the wheels behind it all. And we're helping other professionals grow, other professionals learn, and we enjoy doing that as well. Yeah. And sharing some of the love and some of the profits there with our team members is well worth it for us and for our clients.
Absolutely.
So we're always available to be able to take care of their needs. It takes more than just one person to do that.
But if there's a glitch in a transaction or something starts to go sideways, it doesn't matter if you're somewhere with a martini in your hand, you're going to be taking that call. And so
we've done it. We've done it.
Basically what I'm saying is, anyone watching this, they earn every dollar and they're underpaid. Real estate professionals, I have watched it for years. I have been in the industry. They work hard because everything they're doing for you, they're doing for everybody else as well. And a lot of times sacrificing even their own needs and their own families. And they are there to protect you. I love, Marty, that you pointed out that you are protecting them legally by understanding these transactions, the paperwork, the negotiations, what needs to be in there and what doesn't. Don't ever take this into your own hands. Find the right professional and let's change this narrative of what people think that real estate professionals do or don't do, because this is the real truth right here. And that's why you guys are the best. You're looking to still grow your team, right?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Yes. No, I appreciate you saying that, Amy, because, a lot of times I do feel like when somebody goes to buy or pay for something, you want to feel like you got your money's worth. And for Matt and I, we don't ever want anybody to walk away from a transaction and think that they didn't get their money's worth. So, our goal when we come in is to give it everything that we've got. And again, a lot of things that they don't see that we do, but I want them to walk away and think that's the best money. That was money well spent. and so glad that I had them. And I think that's been the bulk of our career and why we've been able to be successful. So we have wonderful clients that do recognize the work that we do. And, you know, I want to make my clients, I want to get them every dollar. I want to, you know, squeeze out every dime for them, save them where we can. And I do that because I want to earn their business. I want to earn them the fees that we charge. I want to be well worth that. And most of the clients, I feel like do look at it like worth every dollar. And so it's super important to us, you know.
Well, I highly recommend that all our viewers follow you guys on Burnett Group Real Estate. They are not just doing real estate. They are also out there in the community. And you will even notice that they have their children carrying couches into properties for staging. It is a family affair and you can catch it all. It really is something to see how you guys work. And you are a true example of what the business looks like and should be. So thank you so much for really explaining that this week. And we've got an incredible guest next week. We're bringing back our lending expert to keep the panic out of the talk about rates and what they are. It's always a great time to buy a home. We're going to dive into that next week with Anna Cook, and I will see you guys next time.
See ya. Thanks.